Good morning, guys. This is Lebanon come to you with another video. This video wasn't planned, but I think this topic actually is really important because when you're playing the game, you have to decide, when am I going to kill my guys? What is the advantage to killing my players off? So, this video is going to be all about when to kill your troops. It sounds really horrible and everything. You're probably thinking, why in the heck would I want to kill my troops off? Hmm. Well, there's a reason for it, right? So there are a few different reasons why you would want to kill your troops off. And I'm going to explain it to you as best I can, give you some of the different scenarios for it and everything. And I hope that you guys get to learn something out of this. Okay, so first and foremost, my troops at a high level right now, right? I'm at G9, like for two of my four troops. I'm about to be G9 for like all four within probably the next 2 weeks. I wanted to have this done by Christmas. I'm getting it done by Christmas. Yeehaw. So, anyways, when you're thinking about killing your troops and everything, you got to basically look at like how long until they die. Okay, so every single week, there's an event called Rise of the Ancients. Okay, so let me show you it. Okay, so if you're looking at this, right, we have the vaults for the Ancients treasure. We have our Mercenary Exchange, and then we have Rise of the Ancients. Now, coincidentally enough, and all, it's to where usually the Mercenary Exchange or trade routes will coincide with the Rise of the Ancients. Here's the reason why they do this. For those of you that are trying to play for free, or at least as little money as possible, trade routes is an absolutely great way in order to get mercenaries. And then what you could do is you can use those mercenaries against the robots or against the Rise of the Ancient and everything in order to have it to where you basically like kill it off and you also keep your place in the clan. Now, a lot of clans, if you are not participating in this, they will get rid of you, especially in like the clan that I'm in. Right now, they have it to where there's a balance of what was your position or rank as far as the amount of points that you did in Rise of the Ancients versus how many chests you're going through and contributing and your rank in that. So, like in my current clan, I was ranked in top 10. I think it was like fifth or sixth place in the amount of chests. But then I was also like top 30. I think I was like 27th in the Rise of the Ancients thing. So I need to basically keep my place up in Rise of the Ancients because what they're doing is if you're ranked in total between the two events, between the chests that you contribute and the ancient points that you contribute towards the clan, if you're in the bottom three, then after a 2 week period of being in the bottom three for basically combined between the two out of the entire clan, then you will be removed from the clan. Now they'll probably just bump you down to a lower level of this family of clan and everything, which this is FOC. But in God, in OST, in a bunch of the bigger major clans and everything, they have families of clans. It's not just like, oh, you were at one level or whatever. So when we're looking at why you should kill off your troops, in order to keep it to where I can actually stay up in this clan, or if even if you're a lower level player and everything, and your clan is going to get pissed off if you're not helping out with the robots or the Rise of the Ancients or whatever, then you need to have it to where you have your maximum amount of mercs when that troop comes across or when that event comes across. Like, I need to make sure that all these guys will be alive when Rise of the Ancients comes up. So I'm looking at my army, right? And granted, some of these guys have died. Like, I have killed off these monsters already, probably about 2 to 3 days ago, and I revived them. Anytime that you ever revive one of your troops, it's to where they last for 7 days. Now, if you have guardsmen that have never died, they will stay there forever. If you have monsters that have never died, they will stay there forever. But for the most part, everybody kills their troops usually once a week. So let's say, for instance, that you're on a budget and you can't afford for your troops to die. Then you got to stay away from basically any type of epic level fight. So, like the Rise of the Ancients would be a really bad idea, but try and have it to where you keep enough points and keep your clan happy to where you're not being kicked from the clan based upon your performance in that event. So for me, right, I have a good amount of silver. If I look at my pile, I have like 6 billion in silver stashed away, which is good for if you're like a G7 or whatever. For a G9, that's actually really low. So bear in mind and everything like that. I'm trying to increase it, but in a healthy way. So I figured out a way that's working for me, but whatever. Look at my troops right now and what I have. So each one of these guys has died within the last 7 days. So when I get to Rise of the Ancients, I will still have all these guys here, but they will die off automatically pretty much within a day or two after it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to time it to where every single week I will have it to where my mercs, which only last 7 days, and also my monsters and my troops will basically probably be dying whenever I have the Rise of the Ancients. Because staying in a good clan, sadly enough, is the best way in order to like develop in this game. Okay, so that means that I need to have maximum level mercs. So I'm going to look at this, right? My event for Rise of the Ancients, it comes up every single 6 days, by the way. Every single major event like Arachne, Rise of the Ancients, Ancients Vaults, certain ones come up no matter what every single week. And they don't come up like 7 days later. It'll be to where if I bought a package specifically for, like, let's say Arachne, then I would have it to where it would last for 7 days. And Arachne will come back in 6 days later. So you will still be able to use those exact same mercs, but then they'll be dying by the end of the day. So if I did it for where it's like, oh, I bought them, at the very beginning of the sale, but then by the very beginning of the event, by the end of the following event, those troops will die. So, okay, let's like look at it this way then. All my mercs right now, I have it to where they're going to survive till the Rise of the Ancients. If I have any troops to where I know they're not going to, like, so let's look at when exactly it is. You got to time your events, by the way, and time your troops. That's the hard part. So right now, the ancient event is 2 days and 0 hours away. So that means that any troops that I have need to last at least another 2.5 days, roughly. When you're looking at your mercs and everything, my mercs are all above 2 days. Any ones that were going to be less than 2 days, I basically killed them on Arachne. Now, the reason why, if I'm going through and killing off my mercs, that means that I'm going through and fighting the epic. So let me show you. So what I did was I had Arachne troops and everything, and they were going to last until I think like 15 more hours from now. So, yay, whatever. But then what I did was I'm just like, well, if they're not going to be around for the Rise of the Ancients and everything, then I might as well go through and kill them off against Arachne or a high valor level monster. So like there's hardly anybody going through and doing this right now because, they've already killed off their troops or whatever. So I would basically just, have my troops, have my mercs that I know are going to die, go up against Arachne and get me as much valor points as I possibly can in order to have it to where they at least did something before they just die off. And the good thing is that right now, in coordination with Arachne, I also have Authority Rush going on. So if you know that your troops, especially your mercenaries, are not going to survive until Rise of the Ancients. And assuming that your clan does Rise of the Ancients. I mean, some clans are just like, we don't care anymore. But Rise of the Ancients is really, really important because it gives you a lot of tar and a lot of other things that will help you go through and help the clan gain in wealth, help them gain in different like things that you need in order to like summoning scrolls, like gold, it gives you silver, it gives you a whole lot of things. So it's really useful as far as like day-to-day maintenance in order to do the Rise of the Ancients. But when you do it, try and get it to where the Valor point bonus or the Tome of Knowledge is to where it gets up to a 70% bonus. Now, this is easy when you're looking at a higher level clan. So, like with my clan, getting to 70% is easy. But like for lower level clans, you might be able to get to like 50 or 25 or whatever. And then you can adjust the amount of summons based upon how many other points you have left over. And then the very last thing that you would do would be the clock. So my clan, whenever they go through and they're doing a Rise of the Ancients, we hit for the ancient treasures of the vaults. We add the points to get to the 70% bonus for the Tome of Knowledge. Then we do the amount of summons, and then we do the clock. And then this way, when we do the Rise of the Ancients, that will help us out. So what you're trying to do with the killing off your troops is you're trying to go through and have it to where it can help you in the long run. If I have troops, if I have like guardsmen or I have like different troops that I know are going to die because their 7 days of revival is up or the 7 days of mercenaries that they're around for is up, I'm going to kill them off on like Arachne, especially if Arachne has Authority Rush coupled with it. Because every single time that you kill them off and revive them, then you're going to be getting points for Authority Rush. And then what this does is you can take those points. Like right now, I have 834,000, but it costs me 1,000,000 in order to go through and get the next Merc package. So I could go through and get like these Mercs and everything if I have 1,000,000 one of these points. Now, granted, this is at G9. So for you, your threshold is going to be lower. But then you can get the Mercs that would therefore you be able to use them on Rise of the Ancients. So anytime that you have Authority Rush, kill your troops. Just go through and wash them through the system and everything. Have it to where they die off. Trying to revive them as best you can. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. You know, it's just you get the points for reviving them. You do not like it says revive mercenaries in the temple to get authority coins. So if my mercenaries are dying off, I'm going to kill them off now and then go through and I'm getting all these other mercenaries so that this way they could go through and give me points in the long run. So it's best just to have it to where like your mercenaries wise, like check your list in your city. So like let's go into our city. Let's look at what exactly, my mercenaries are at. So I'm at least over 2 days for every single one of these. So all my mercenaries will be around for that. The mercenaries that weren't going to be around, I killed them off. Now for your troops, here's what you might want to do. If you know that these monsters, which I know all these monsters have died in the last ancient summon, I'm going to kill them and not revive them at some point during my Rise of the Ancient summon. Because they're going to automatically die off a day later and everything, so I might as well go through and do that. All these troops right here, all these troops were a part of my Rise of the Ancients, like summon fight. So each one of these, at some point during my Rise of the Ancients, I'm going to go through and kill them and not revive them. So you got to be very, very selective with your troops. Like, how long are these guys going to stick around? When did I go through and create these guys? Therefore, you know when to kill them off. So mercenaries, if you have an authority rush and the mercenaries are not going to be around, or like their timer is not going to last until you rise to the ancients, kill them off, especially during authority rush. That would be the best way to do it. Arachne coupled with it is just perfect. Like if you have Arachne coupled with authority rush and your mercs are not going to last until, rise to the ancients, kill them, kill them, kill them, and then go through and revive them. And like eventually you'll have to go through and just kill them and not revive them. But when you're going through and bleeding them down, like I had 34,000 of each Arachne soldier at the beginning of this event, but all of them had been alive for 6 days and their timer was going to go out within 24 hours. So in order to go through and deal with that, I'm like, hey, I'm not going to have them for the Rise of the Ancients. I'm going to kill them off during Authority Rush, but I'm going to like just fight after fight after fight where I'm fighting, dying, or fighting, dying, and reviving. And I'm going to get my Authority Rush points because of this. And when I get the Authority Rush points, then I'm going to go through and get more mercenaries in order to use up against the Rise of the Ancients. And then what you do is during the Rise of the Ancients, make sure that you have Tangle as one of your captains and everything during it. And then what you can do is, like, while this is going on, the whole Rise of the Ancients thing, have it to where you're also looking at the mercenary chat or your kingdom chat or your clan chat. And then they'll usually be posting the coordinates of a Rise of the, or I'm sorry, a mercenary exchange. And then you can buy those mercenaries and all, and it will help you like for the course of the Rise of the Ancients. Now, granted, it gets 25% to leadership, and you're like, okay, so be it. I get to take a little bit more troops with me. But you also, like, the main thing about the mercenary exchange is getting the mercs. So, like, Authority Rush is great for getting mercenaries and recycling your troops. You kill off your mercenaries, you recycle them through. And then you also will buy the mercenaries during your mercenary exchange or trade routes. This will help you towards Rise of the Ancients in order to have it to where you have the right troops. Now, any other troops that are not mercenaries, just make sure that you remember, like, hey, how long ago did I like fight against an epic and these guys died? So that this way I know, hey, if they're going to expire in 24 hours, I might as well send these monsters up against an epic, get me some valor points in order to basically have it to where I get something out of it. So basically, this video, guys, to wrap it all up, your troops do not last forever. They're going to die, and that's fine. You're going to have to go through and spend silver, and you're going to have to go through and use potions and all this other kind of stuff. But this is all in order to gain you valor points. Like, I had only 300 billion valor points and everything before this, Arachne event. But then what I did was I killed off like fight and die, fight and die, fight and die. And what I was doing this, I was reviving them and I'm getting valor points because of it. Figure out when your troops are going to expire and make sure that you let them actually like give you something before they do expire. And if you're going to have it to where they're going to go away, send them up against an epic, have them die, and just don't revive them at that point. You got to figure out, like, okay, I have this amount of potions. Hold on. I have this amount of potions right here. Is that going to be enough to where I could go through and revive these guys? Nope. Okay, let them die off, and I'm just not reviving them. So that's why like, this video was all about why you would let your troops die, when to kill them off, how to do the timing of it and everything. It's very complex, but just know that Authority Rush and the trade routes Mercenary Exchange are basically your saving grace in this game, so that this way you can use silver in order to basically go through and get mercs. as opposed to having to buy lots of packages. And if you do use packages, make sure that you know when those mercenaries are going to expire so that this way you can get as much out of them as you can. I hope you learned something out of this video all about like, when to kill off your troops. If you did, go through and hit the like button. If you'd like to subscribe, you can. If you want to go through and contact me, the best way to do it is just directly message me in the game. I have certain people that have been going through and like, hitting me up and they're like, hey, I'm your biggest fan, blah, 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 or I like your videos, all this other kind of stuff. And the biggest question I always ask them is, what would you like to have a video over? Like, what would be a good video topic for helping younger players and everything? So if you have different ideas on different videos, or if you know something that I don't, because there's lots of things in this game that I might not know, and that's fine. But we're gonna like, if I learn something, I'm gonna teach it to you. If it's something to where I think the makers of this game are gonna be like, holy crap, that's a big loophole, and we're gonna go through and like not, allow that anymore, then I will not put it up in the video. I will hold some stuff back, but for the most part, everything that I know, I will try and help out the younger players because this game is more fun when more people are in it. All these games die off because people get bored of them. People hate them. People spend too much money on them. Like a good buddy of mine stopped playing the game. Why he stopped playing, I do not know. I will try and reach out to him and everything. But this game is more fun when more people enjoy it. So if you know of a player that is in your kingdom or in your clan that needs help, help them out. You might know some stuff that will help them. And if you don't know it, then tell them, hey, watch Raven's teacher or whatever on YouTube and everything. He can go through and help you. If it's in a different language and you understand the language of English and that native tongue that that player has, then help them out. Like, be able to be like, okay, I learned this from the video. This is how you do this. And you're speaking it in Portuguese or in Spanish or in German or whatever. For those of you that are like, hey, why don't you do subtitles? If I did a subtitle for every single one of my videos, I would have no life. And sad to say this, until this game figures out a way in order to be a parent to my son or give me the experience of traveling without actually traveling or pay my bills without actually like, it just doesn't happen, people. So like, I still have a life. So anyways, I hope you learned something out of this. Hope you guys like it. If you want to contact me, Lefinin Kingdom 100. If you're trying to look for my exact coordinates, I'll go through and give them to you now. So that this way you can easily go through and figure out where the heck I am. And if you want to attack me, have fun with it. I don't care. It's not going to bother me. Kingdom 100, 451, 831. That's exactly where I'm at. So this way, if you want to contact me, directly message me there. It's very easy. And I will respond immediately because I'm on this game a lot. I do not check the comments on the videos all that often, but I will try and do better. You guys have a good day. If you are anticipating the very next thing, I am going to be doing a series of videos on a how-to strategy guide. And that how-to strategy guide, you will see that within the next 24 hours. I'm starting a third account, and I will be doing a video series, how-to strategy guide for Total Battle. So look for a Total Battle how-to strategy guide part 1. And then it will go all the way up to part however. You guys have a good day. Hope you liked the video, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.